Hi, welcome to Fuck Your Thoughts podcast. This is Cammy, and tonight's episode we will be talking about perfect competition. We will be discussing the ins and outs of competition with the help of our special guest, Etsnu Cet. I am not 100% sure on how to say her
It's
name.
it's in you see it.
N you see it? Okay.
It's in you.
When you see it. Okay. So we will indulge in banter based on understanding the difference between healthy and unhealthy competition while determining if competition is beneficial and explaining the importance of teaching competitive etiquette to children and how competition occurs between family, friends, and coworkers and how self competition is a tactic for improvement. We will get off task and talk some sass as usual in our West Tennessee lingo. So, hello everybody that has logged
You
in.
sound like them little children that be reading stories. You know what the teacher used to make you read at school? It, man, I don't think they do that no more. But Miss Caesar in 10th grade used to go down the line in alphabetical order and be like, read this paragraph. And
Listen,
people used to be so
guess who,
embarrassed.
guess who else do that as an English teacher?
You,
Miss
Yeah.
Hill. Pick a person to read after you. It doesn't even matter who it is. Just look around the classroom and call on somebody. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to read today. Even if you can't read, I'm going to help you read. Because everybody needs to know how to read and you need to comprehend what you read.
and you
Right.
need to be able to read out loud in front of everybody.
Yes, and confidently.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
I just stuttered over all those words and I'm the one that typed it.
Exactly.
But we didn't make you feel bad.
I don't feel bad at all. I really don't
Good.
give a damn. Hey, Corey.
Hey y'all, what's the deal?
Mm. Hello,
So
hello, y'all.
hey, Chanel. So it's
Hey,
in you
Chanel.
see it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
It's my big
ma'am.
cousin, y'all. What it do?
Okay,
What it
hey,
do? What it do?
cousin.
What
Hey,
it do?
cousin.
Hey, Cammy.
Yeah, we all from Jackson, so everybody cousins anyway. It don't even matter.
What you said? What
Mhm.
you said?
Jeez.
Yes. Well, nice to meet you, Corey.
Nice to meet you as
Oh, Corey,
well.
this is Chanel. Chanel, this is Corey. Or
Hmm.
Corey, our little brother.
Yes.
yes, we have
I've heard his
legally
wisdom.
adopted him.
Okay, okay.
For sure.
Even though all us about 40.
That's okay.
Hey,
It don't matter. You can get adopted at any time.
right, it's never too late to gain
It's
family
never
and
too
shit. You
late.
feel me?
What you said, what you said. Mm.
Shoot.
Okay, so
Okay.
Kev, you got your card of the day?
Oh wait, I have to shuffle. I haven't even taken them out of the box.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well,
You
I
can go
got
ahead and do what you're gonna do usually. And if Corey has word on the street, then he can go ahead. But I need to shuffle. I haven't even. And then when you said it, it just reminded me to shuffle. Okay.
okay, so I don't really have a word per se. I take them I got a word and a phrase. So I have
Okay.
never heard this in my life until today. I heard somebody say, keep your powder dry.
Powder like cocaine.
Yes,
So
like
proud
baby
of
powder.
you.
All I could think about was
Ah,
baby
well,
powder.
if you wet any type of
Mhm.
powder, that shit is gonna turn into something that is completely unusable.
You gonna be a
Exactly.
whole funnel cake.
It don't
So
even
the
matter if it's baby powder from Johnson and Johnson or cocaine. If you get that shit wet,
it's, it's gonna be hard. Okay, so the phrase, okay, so if somebody ever says keep your powder dry to you, it is an idiom meaning to wait before taking action, but be ready to take action if it is necessary.
For sure, I can dig
that
it.
makes sense
Okay.
though.
Okay.
But how does that relate to keeping your powder dry?
Because
Hold your
say
horses,
it one more
man. Type
time.
shit.
Yeah.
Because powder, like
Most folks,
I don't know.
most folks wear powder to keep them dry, like they perspirate, they sweat. You feel me?
Maybe
Okay.
So
powder. Like I'm going to the powder room.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
Then I guess I still
And
gonna
if
get
like if you keep your pat like by not getting your emotions all rowdy and getting that the sweat to start sweating, like staying
yeah,
calm and everything, then you can
uh,
handle that situation more efficiently.
and you can keep your powder dry.
Yeah, you can keep your
Meaning,
powder because
yeah,
you won't
wait.
be all emotional and like
yeah,
Okay.
So
Okay. So you ain't
calm
gotta act.
down, calm
Okay.
down.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, take a
Okay.
deep breath and shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, I pulled the card and it is trans. So I'm pulling from the my relationship oracle deck that I usually pull from. Sometimes I pull from the empath deck, but I'm pulling from the relationship deck today. And it says transparency. The energy of transparency supports our expansion toward a higher vibrational state of being with more insight, honesty, and clarity. And y'all know I've been doing my heart work lately. So I'm not saying I am. I am saying I love. So I'm going to put it in words of I love transparency. Transparency.
for
So
sure.
that just means that when you are, I can say that I love a person that is truly being their genuine self.
Aw, me too.
And like just be who you are. And I can
Mm.
respect that more than you putting on the front of who you think you should be or how you feel like you should act. Just be who you are. And I can like for me, I can respect it more than who you feel like you should present yourself as. Just
For
be
Okay.
sure.
When you said that, I thought about Chris Brown's song "Transparency." When I tell y'all I love Chris Brown,
I
Oh,
mm,
love
you
Chris Brown.
people, and I don't really love people like that. That's outside of me, but I
yeah,
do like him. I like
I
I
him.
do
like
too because I
I
I
think he
do.
like
went
Chris
through a
Brown.
lot of shit. He grew up in the limelight, and that's a hard
Mhm.
thing to do, and not end up like like fucked off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he might be a little cocaine head
But
sometimes,
that's
but
okay. I mean, it's
yeah,
not okay, but like
Mhm.
think about where he is. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
sometimes might
and
need a line of cocaine. I don't know.
that that's his choice. We got to say,
It
you right.
is 100%.
Okay,
But
yeah.
touche, nigga,
transparency
touche.
is, I think, in a lot of situations, whether it's love or just friendship, when you are transparent with somebody, that means you are really being your authentic self. And I can
Hmm.
respect it. Just be who you are. Like, I'd rather you be who you are than be faking that shit. And then I got to figure out, like, this ain't even really who this person is.
Right.
Mm, agreed. I think they only though are untransparent because of the topic we're talking about today, because of the competition.
Yeah,
Mm,
100%.
Mm.
I
Hmm.
agree.
I agree. Competition
Whether
make you want to be somebody else because you looking
Hmm.
at them and you want what they got. Okay,
Why
uh,
okay.
Hmm.
do they right?
And you
Because
can't
then
even
when you
reveal
try
it
to
all
get
the
with
way.
somebody, I'm trying to type transparency in here. Your girl can't spell. Let me go find that card.
Corey, you got a word on the street? Word on the streets.
yeah, so to speak or whatnot. I'm gonna keep it kind of short so we can kind of continue and everybody can have their moment. We can all say our piece or whatever. You feel me? But with that being said, what I was gonna shine a light on, of course, a popular topic that's been kind of spoken of or whatnot here for the past week, and that's I was blessed with the opportunity. I got to see the movie Sinners
Don't
when it
tell it.
first.
I haven't seen it.
No, 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 no. No spoilers, no spoilers for people out there listening or whatever. No spoilers, but nevertheless, though, what I can speak on, which is very apparent, though, the undertones that the movie most definitely you know speak w- speaks on without even speaking on the message, the subliminal messages that it hits on or whatnot.
You
And
give
for
us some,
people,
give us some.
but for people who are I could say of like minded or whatever, who are open and who've kind of been in tune to things, that movie is a most definitely go see. That's what I just kind of wanted to throw out there real quick. Long
Okay.
story short.
Okay. You're the
Okay.
second person, well, third person who told me I need to go see it.
And I've been
All
hearing
right.
that everywhere. Go see it. So I think I'm gonna go
Yes.
see it. And then I just
Yes.
said that, and it was 10:10
All right,
on the
then.
minutes and seconds of the show. So
You're going to see
I'm going to see it.
it.
I have a
So
hard time with movies though because when this shit starts, I be going to sleep.
Man. Yeah.
well I think
Movie.
the
I used to
movie
rest best sleep in the movie theater. Jesus.
Man, in
Ooh,
church.
church, man, Lord. Ooh. Until the choir come through.
Right.
man.
All right.
Oh,
So let's just jump right into the things of Nafisa, did you do your word? What was your No, you said your thing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
said my thing. I said my thing. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Um so let's talk about competition. I'm gonna give the definition of competition and then I'm going to discuss some of the things that come up to me when competition is discussed, and we can just add it, multiply, subtract, and divide onto the conversation. But definition means the activity or condition of competing and an event or contest in which people compete. So I think everybody understands what compete means. That means you are trying to determine who's the best.
Sure.
And competition to me can be detrimental if you are not okay with yourself and who you are. So I
Hmm.
think the first thing we could talk about is like healthy and unhealthy competition.
Right.
okay.
I'm gonna just leave the floor open to whoever wants to talk as far as healthy and unhealthy competition. Um,
Okay. So Chanel, what's your thoughts? What's your experience? Chanel's a little more
Uh,
seasoned than
yes.
us. So
Well,
go ahead.
I'm gonna talk on the area that I just had like an experience with myself.
Mm,
And I'm learning like to do handstands and like the press up kind. Now, typically, I wouldn't work out or do anything because I'm like, I'm not doing it for an event. I'm not doing it for any type of thing competing, right? For someone else. This was like just for me. And I was like, what the world? Why do I want to do this? Such and such, such and such. And I'm inside myself and I'm asking, like, will I continue to do this? Will I be consistent since I don't have anyone to show it to or to prove that I'm doing this to? Will I even be able to continue going and do this just for me? And I realized, like, dang, Chanel, so is that the only thing you do? You only want to do something if you have to show it, or if you're competing, or if it's this or growing or something in that nature? And
so
so that's what
are you speaking on handstands as in as like yoga or just
just like press handstands,
gymnastics?
like just like a handstand, like when you're just just stand. I just wanted a handstand, and now I wouldn't call it yoga or gymnastics. Just me learning to put my hands on the ground, and then from my feet being on the ground, lift them up, and then
Okay,
just stand. I just want to
okay,
do that. And so, and with that, I want to be able to wiggle my legs and do some stuff because I was also working on balance in like another sense. And so I found that, like, golly, that I was competitive actually.
mm,
And that when it came to the body, now in spirit form, nah, don't, it's like all in all, everyone. Yet with the body, I found, and I find this with humans too, that we are competitive in that nature, like you said, the definition of it. Like wanting to be able to prove, wanting to show like that that endorphin to make us feel like, yeah, I did that. I can rest. Yet when we don't have anyone to prove or show it to, it's like, will we really do it? Will we be motivated? So I was like, okay, Chanel, now let's go inside. You're your only competitor. That's when I had to take everybody else out and be like, do I want to show myself? Do I want to do this for myself? And I'm like, okay, when I start doing it, and I'm like, all the different areas in my body that started to feel better and go better, I was like, okay, wait, I don't have to compete. I'm just doing this because it feels good. this just feels
Mhm.
better, and I'm getting stronger. Things that I didn't even know that was going to develop from me working on this one area developed. Areas that I didn't know they were going to be healed got healed from just even having to warm up to practice. I haven't even got where I'm an inch off the ground yet. I'm still like getting my arms strong and my abs and all that. And so I was saying all that because I'd gotten out of the place where I've never really had to compete with people. Yet in a stance where I'm like battling, want them to lose or want that, I'm just like, I just want to be like a winner type, you know, but I'm not
Mhm.
mad if I lose. Well, I got over that. I used to really be mad when I would lose. Yeah. And it, like literally like so bad. But I learned, oh my gosh, from my fiance. I'm gonna get off track real quick and go to before I even got to where I am now. When
Uh,
I was I we were playing games on the telephone, and no matter what I did, I would lose. In no matter Battleship, Mancala, like all of this, and my man, excuse my language, was just
Oh, you good?
getting me. He was getting me no type of ways, like, and I got pissed to the point where I had to get off the phone. I couldn't talk to him for like a day, like
I hate
literally.
losing
I
too.
was
I hate
pissed,
losing.
and yet when I got mad, I'm like, dang, Chanel, really? Like, really, you're that man? Mad? Who else would you want to beat you though, other than your man?
Right.
And I'm like, dang, you're right. You're right. I would want him to be able to beat me. And
Because
then
if you
from
can beat
that,
me, then you can teach me some shit.
exactly. And that's when I learned
Yes.
honor. That's when I learned honor and admiration. I got to see what it felt like because I was in a sense of losing in in that competitive sense and realizing like, wait, hold on. When you actually are around people that can beat you and you are doing your best, trying your hardest, then you're in the room that you want to be in. You're in
Right.
the place that you could really strive and go good. And you could actually start looking at everybody like, yeah, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, we're here to
Right.
learn. We're here to learn. And so I was able to get humble and had to call him back. And we talked because he was like talking his trash and everything. And so the next day when I called him back, we played again. This day I kicked his ass. And he was like feeling bad, like, what the world? What the world? And so we end up getting to learn how to actually communicate when we're getting like losing or when we're winning. Like how do we talk to another person when we're actually in that state of victory? How do we talk to another person when we're in the state of defeat? How do we embrace that? How do we still get to be there for each other and see the part where they could help us and learn in that sense? And so we also got to learn like, okay, man, that means like you're good at some stuff, I'm good at stuff. When you need to step up, you could step up. When I need to step up, you could step up. So from going through the competition of being pissed at losing to learning how to lose and understand the reason why I could you could have a loss or a failure, it made me feel like, dang, you learn so much. I get to honor so much. Ah, it's just great. And so it got me to the place where now it's just me that I have to go up against, just do better for me, just tweak me.
Mm.
And with me just tweaking me, I don't have to be inspired, just know it just feels good. I don't have to
Mm.
share it with anybody, share it with myself because when I used to share it with others, because you know, when you learn something, you want to tell it. You want to tell it. And that's part of that competition of knowing something. You want to go tell the masses and stuff and be the one to be able to tell it. Yet people don't always want to hear what you want to tell. And so
Mm.
knowing that, like, dang, I shared a lot of stuff out there and I didn't see too many people practice. So do this for me and see where it gets me. Get myself out of everybody else's room, their lanes, get in mine, and grow with me. And so,
Mm.
so with building me and still being motivated when nobody's looking, that's
Mm.
one of the things that the competition part that I've learned is kind of like that was the motivation. Like, you know, is being able to compete, being able to show someone. So you have to change your mindset when there isn't that type of feeling I learned. And so I'm
But
at the
do
place
you
of
think that's like a form of like integrity where you like what you just said, and then is there like a type of integrity, like because integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. So if you can
Mhm.
feel or
Mm.
understand what you're saying,
Okay, I could see where you're coming from on that. That could be a good put part in myself. It says that I told myself I'm going to get this handstand because I wanted to do it. So therefore, with the integrity that I have within me, not having to be, I don't have to tell anybody or anybody. I know that I'm worthy of the truth and the value of doing what I say. And so go on and keep doing it. Be consistent. Be
Mm,
consistent. I
mm,
like that.
Yeah.
So with that, we could use that as a tool as far as the motivation, as far as like not having, I'm not like doing this for this. I'm doing it because that's my truth. This is what I said I would do for me. Okay. This is
okay,
it. I
that
like
makes
that.
sense.
I
For
like
sure.
it. That's a good tool to use.
so this is who I am in my core. So once again, it goes back to being authentically you. And
Right,
being
Hmm.
authentically you, you know who you are behind closed doors.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So so
And you
you is
only responsible for the level of integrity that you are capable of having.
Okay.
exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's me
Mm-hmm.
versus me. Let
Mm-hmm.
me improve
Hey,
upon
do you
myself.
hear me?
But
What old boy saying that song?
it's me versus
Mm-hmm.
me. But I think we have become a society who thinks that you think about survival of the fittest.
Yes.
Everything has been made a competition. When in reality, sometimes it is a competition amongst each
And
other.
I don't
But
think a lot of times it is. I think a lot of times the only person you in competition with is yourself.
Right.
you are,
I
you are,
think that's at the end where we get to that. We grow to that. We
yeah.
start at that at the very beginning, but through the course of getting raised, we are in a place of coming outside of ourselves. And so
Yeah.
therefore we're in that boat or that ship of the competition or that moving or you have to do this. This is how you walk, tie your shoe. And so then you're trying to compete with yourself to even learn how to do that and show the next person that you can even do that.
I
And
Mm,
so,
I
what?
think a good place to start that in teaching is like in childhood though. Like
Yeah,
if you're never taught that it's okay for somebody else to win, then how are you okay with healthy competition?
or is
right.
it a form of validation too?
What you mean?
Because if you're competing with others, you're trying to outdo them because you want to be validated that you are important and that you can beat somebody.
Right.
and
I,
an image, and that's also like image.
how
It's
you
like,
carry or what you look like to other people.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Give
And
it
so therefore,
immediate
competition.
gratification.
Yeah.
Can you say that again, Cora? I'm sorry, I was talking over you. I didn't get to hear you.
Oh no, you're fine. No, I was just saying getting that immediate gratification.
Mm-hmm,
Instant
It's called
mm-hmm.
gratification.
a microwave society.
Yes,
Right.
Mm,
And
yes.
then that's what I was gonna get to too as well, like or whatnot, while y'all was speaking or whatever. You feel me? To kind of like get to like another aspect of it, and I would like to say like, would you guys somewhat agree that society that we were placed in plays a part into that competition that where we look at each other in that particular way, where we naturally as people of color we are harmonious people, where we are willing
mm,
naturally and to the core of us willing to work together, but the society that we have been placed in, you feel me,
Mm,
has put us in a place
that's
of
right.
competition with each other, you feel me, where
Because we
we I,
like that's the crabs in a barrel syndrome.
yeah, so to
Whatever it's
speak, you know what
called.
I mean.
Well, I want to say something to that with when you said in our core that we're that giving type sharing and also in our core because us as core beings, we have all in there. And so not only do we create the giving, we also create the taking. We also create the I want this, or if that person could do it, I could do it. And so a natural part within us, because I had to look at it when I went to Nigeria, and I was wondering why when I look on the street and there's about 10 upholsterers on the street, each one of them has the same thing on in their shop, the same fabric, they're doing the same furniture and everything. On the other side, you have all the people with tomatoes right there. And I said, baby, I said, well, how are they going to get something different if everybody's doing that same thing?
Yeah.
And that he it was like, I don't know, you just go to I was like, I wouldn't. I would just go to this one, like, they needed to differentiate. Yet what they were doing is because they said, if this one could do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna give to them. If they could make this, I'm gonna make it for myself, or I can learn how to do it. And so it wasn't more so as I could cater to them and go find my own thing. It was I'll do what they're doing. And so it was kind of made it competition with the same stuff in the roots, in the
So,
heart.
so,
And they
so
were
like
taught with
a,
that society.
so like a monkey see,
Oh.
monkey do, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if
But if you
all of
look
y'all
at
are harmonious
society,
at your core and have the same ideas at your core, you're gonna do the same thing.
but
Or if they
if you
don't
look
have
at
the same idea.
society though, everybody copies. Like
Yeah.
if when you go on social media, you see one person do one thing, and then you see 9,000 other people do the exact same thing.
Right.
So
But
So
is
but
that to
me, it's like
compete?
we live in a monkey see, monkey do
This was
society, but
I
I'm still gonna try to do it better than what you're doing.
Exactly, exactly. There you go.
But we
That's what
still
I'm
doing the
getting at.
same shit though.
And
It's the
yeah,
same shit.
exactly. And they're not
Because
getting the results because
right.
you're like, what
So
the
now you
world?
mad. The fuck?
Yes, because
I
you
don't
didn't
get
sit
it. It's
there and
dumb to
see.
me.
Hmm.
Everybody's doing the same thing, just like where them fans at, and that other trail wide ride dance thing that people are doing now. It's like everybody's adding their own thing, but it's still the same shit.
Hmm.
but you know what though? You know that right there, you kind of says something big in a small phrase or whatnot. Like taking what you just said in retrospect, you feel me? That's again society today, modern times, and what has been. And what I mean by that is like metaphorically speaking, I could take religion and put that there, and not to step on anybody's toes or make anybody out there listen and viewer wise feel any type of way. I'm just hypothetically or metaphorically speaking when I say this, but religion itself, though, we all know it parallels or whatever. You feel me? You can
Mhm.
find one in the same or common attributes
Same
of the
concept,
same.
just
But
different,
what
different
but
people.
right. But what I'm saying, there you go, and that's what I'm alluding to. Basically, what I'm trying to say is like that, man. Folks take shit or whatever, and they make it fit for them or whatever. You feel me? And they, you take religion to or whatever. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, folks just take shit and make it their own, and make it fit for themselves or whatever. You feel me?
Hmm.
Because
You know
So,
how
where
else
you with.
would you take it though?
but it is at your level of understanding, so it may not always be competition.
Right. It might just be perception.
Right.
Right.
And I'm gonna put my spin on it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it my own or whatever. You know.
Yeah, that would be great for us to get. And if we view the masses, we do see that with, and let me pull the phone back. I'm sorry. From what I saw with them having those same things, they could not gain, they could not progress, um, and so therefore it was like they were stuck in a different place.
Hmm.
And I was thinking if they did different things and they possibly could trade, they
Hmm.
possibly could
Right.
use this one for this one. If they would go within themselves and find when you're finding your you, when you're doing that, and just and not trying, just breaking from the habit of having to have someone else judge you or
Hmm.
tell you that you're doing good. And I think that's where competition comes from, just wanting to be
Mhm.
pleased, wanting
Outside
to please someone.
validation.
Yes, that. And so just knowing, just when you feel comfortable with doing you, you find so much of you in what you bring to the table. And then you find that most of the time, the people you go around need who you are at the table because they have them. And so when you come in someone's life, you bring an addition of abundance. And if we get outside of the competition, then we know that we're there to share. And when
Mm.
we're all of ourselves in that happy, like he said, the part, using the part of ourselves that's the giving part of our nature, the one that wants to share and give, we see the differences and enjoy the differences and don't
Do you
judge.
do you think that when you come into somebody's life that you're really mirroring that person and
A
your
lot of the
own?
times,
Over
every
time.
single time,
O-
every
Over.
single time I'm in a relationship with, like, say, for instance, when I'm with you, like, my name is Etsnu Cet. Because when you go and meet an individual, they are going to be able to have the same gifts as you, be able
Right.
to sing with you, read and chime with you, but you have to be able to sit in that presence to be able to get that and know that you're there to learn and to teach.
So let me ask you this. So when you going through those different aspects of meeting different people throughout like relationships that you go through, for me, what I have noticed is that every dealing that I've had has been better than the one before.
That's
What I
great.
mean as far as like the person, not necessarily somebody's better than somebody, but the the level of healthiness has been
Because your level
at
of
a greater
healthiness
aspect. Huh?
has
That's what
leveled up each
that's
time.
the point that I'm getting to. It's like
Mhm.
as you grow and you see who you really are and you live in your authenticity, the person that you're going to attract and deal with is going to be at a better or healthier state than what you were before because you are okay with who you really are.
Mhm. Mhm. True, true, true.
So
Exactly.
with that being said, okay, back to you, Chanel, and seeing all these people on one side doing upholstery and on the other side doing tomatoes. So do you think everybody's doing the same thing because we have everything the same at the core? Are they stuck in a lower state? Like, or are
Yeah.
we?
They're stuck in a lower state.
Mm,
Just because they prey upon the next one. You can't feel like
uh,
you're succeeding there. You can't, it's like, because it's so much poverty and they prey on you, and you see, why they chose different religions, different things, because they wanted to feel safe. Because when everyone's open, everyone's with their gifts, everyone's in tune with their spirit.
mhm,
If they don't have their morals ground, if they're not integrity, like with themselves, and don't want to be hurt themselves, so therefore they wouldn't hurt another, then, like, if you say, you'll do this or that or this to get what you want, type of thing, then, and you could actually ask for it with your mouth, and then it could come and you could put something on a person, then that other person would be like, damn, shit, I don't feel safe. And so the
mhm,
competing, the places of trying to figure themselves out and looking outside of themselves, and so they look to another culture, another race, they look somewhere else to find
Mm.
something to feel as if it's better than the ones around them. Because
mhm,
when I saw all those millions of black people, and I looked and saw, like, how would they feel a difference in themselves? And there's millions of poor ones. There's million, like 14 million. We were all tight, and they were just under, just the wealth state, the level of living was very, very lower. And they weren't helping each other as far as sharing. They're doing the same thing, so again, they could not grow. And I think it comes to America, like, as we say, we've been calling on our ancestors, and we see our ancestors are kind of doing the same darn
same
thing that
thing.
we were been battling with, and
Right.
trying to
So
figure out, like,
how
what
many
the
are we
heck.
gonna keep doing the same thing though?
That's when, listen to this. So I came to this different state because, again, I'm not in competition. I'm actually at the place of competing with myself. So
Mm,
therefore, excuse me, when I got to this different level, I had to be excuse me, y'all. I just got a whole what did you call it, Corey, on the last episode of Brain Fart?
Oh,
It
Yeah.
just
brain.
it just went somewhere totally. That's like that's just
Transition.
what
That be that
happened.
When it
endo
don't,
Yes,
and that
yes.
when it
out
don't
though.
come out, when it don't come out, they just be
No,
your
no,
ancestors.
this is what that I wanted to say that actually means because a lot of times when you're speaking and you're flowing and things like come to the door, it's like some another spirit has come to try to get your attention, to get you to
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
deflect and
I like how you
misdirect.
think. Yeah,
And
Yeah.
so it stops you in your tracks kind of on that. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily that your brain is frozen. It's basically, hold on, rest, relax, and regroup and read the energy.
Mm-hmm.
See what's needed to be spoken on because that had to shift. It needed to shift type of thing.
Change something else. That
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with us coming like here in America and our ancestors and asking of things like I asked for a change because I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, I know exactly what we used to do this, but I want something different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in something different, though, you're going to have to use all the tools that we learned with something that we had new when we were going through those same cycles, but they're getting a little better. Boom, boom, boom. We knew how to act. We knew what to do. We knew how to speak, everything that was going and everything. But it was preparing us to get into the new space that we were going to, that we had asked for. Okay. And so as I got into this new space, in a new space, that's when you realize that you don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
yeah.
there like, what the world? I can't expect anything but to see what is here. You just have to observe. And so therefore you can't compete here. You can't do anything but just relax and just observe and see what it is.
Because you done
And it's
elevated
the
to
difference
something else.
between
Mhm.
observing and absorbing.
Yes, yes, yes. And so in the newness, you've already seen the place that you're going to go to now. We've seen where we've asked to be, what we want and everything. So we know it's here in the newness now. We just don't know what to do. We never experienced or how to do it and how to be in it. So when we take ourselves and we're resting and we're sitting and we're just receiving, we find ourselves seeing characters. We find ourselves seeing everyone around us and their purpose in our life. We see our teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And when we don't see them as competition, we see teammates. We see the players that will be on our team that will help us. And in that
So
state,
how do you differentiate between teammates and
everybody in this state is being intentional. So you get to read people exactly as who they are and you get to call it as you see it and you don't have to be shy or shame. If someone you have to say someone is doing something that doesn't sound good, I'm sorry it doesn't sound good. What you're doing is it. That doesn't look good. That's the words that it is. So if you don't want it to sound that way and your vibration to bring off that, then don't do those actions. And when we see someone do actions that we don't vibrate with, we could call that out and we could be like, that's not it. And we don't have to second guess. We don't have to take two red flags. We don't have to do whatever they call those things. We can go on and move on because they're intentional, they're on
Mm-hmm.
purpose. Okay. And they
mm,
show themselves quickly, like easily, especially when you observe, when your emotions are relaxed. And when the only time when they're not too relaxed is when you're in that competitive state, when you want to prove, when you want to do, when you're
right,
protecting, when you're trying to save your heart, when you're trying to show yourself who you are, this. Yet when you know who you are and you can sit back and relax and
right,
view everyone and around you and be patient in that space and see the characters here and there, then you know what you will do when the time comes. Because
right.
when the time comes, you will walk in it and it'll be that. And you don't have to compete in preparing for it.
So
Mm-hmm.
Corey said, "Call let's calling a spade a spade."
Yes.
And also, in able to call a spade, you have to be quiet
For
Right,
sometimes.
Mm,
sure. Being
mm,
observant, like she said, yeah.
Quiet and observe, and that's where you really get to see people. If you're always talking and talking, then you're not going. You're gonna miss. what people are
The
showing you.
important shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for
Mm-hmm.
instance, like with me, I learned unfortunately the that particular trait more so of me running the streets or whatever. Folks used to always tell me because metaphorically speaking again that I'm around nothing but carnivores. You feel me? So therefore
Mm.
you have to protect yourself, protect your heart, and all that good stuff. So, nevertheless, you become more withdrawn, and withdrawn, I become more observant. My back against the wall, per se. I sit at certain angles where I can see everything. I don't sit with my back to the door of nothing or whatever. I have to be able to observe my surroundings or whatever. So, most
And that's when you're
definitely.
in a peaceful state, because if you're in competition, it's a dog eat dog world. But if you step back and pay attention, you're able to survey and see what's what and see everything for what it is. But if
For
you're in the
sure,
mix
for
of the
sure.
competition, dog eating dog, you're not going to get to see any of that.
Right. And you
So let me ask y'all this though. But do y'all think that, like y'all saying, if you in the midst of competition, but do you ever think that competition can be beneficial?
Yeah.
yeah, most
Uh-huh.
definitely. We're leveling up. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
Again, with being in that self competition with yourself, knowing that you want to seek and do better. You feel me? I want to create this business. I want to get this new position or whatever. You feel me? So yeah, most definitely it can be beneficial or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And what I've learned too, and I learned this from you, Chanel, activators. The
Mm-hmm.
people that may seem like they're competing with you, if you can recognize it for what it is, sometimes those people are activators in your life. You be
Mm-hmm.
looking at
Right.
you like,
To make you
dang,
level up.
yes, to make you level up and to make you actually see. And it's kind of like a mirror, or they're showing you like, hey, they're
This
bringing
is who
something
you
else
really
out of,
are.
yes, and they're bringing something else out of you to activate you to go to a different level. And so they
And
And
come off as,
those people can be, it doesn't even have to be like somebody that you work with. It can be somebody that you are dealing with on a romantic level that can
yeah,
make
it
you
could be,
level
yeah,
up
and that's what I'm saying. It could be anybody.
and
Like it could be any relationship, anybody you meet. It may come off as competition, but they're also making you, and they it may be competition in their mind. It may be some hate or competition in their mind, but it's making you have to level up and do better. But like Chanel said, are you doing better for them? Or are you doing better for
for
yourself?
yourself.
Now
So let
listen
me ask you
to
this though. Do you think that it's a difference when, like, say, I'm a woman. If the person that's in competition with me is of the opposite sex, do you think that makes a difference?
it's interesting to see it.
mm,
It's interesting to witness, and you be surprised. Yeah,
Let me.
and can I say something on that last one with the good competition? I
Yeah.
wanted to say because Corey was saying with the solo with yourself, motivation, and I also see that we could go somewhere with a good competition with teamwork, like
Mhm.
having a team, like you guys play ball, and
Yeah.
so you saw like being there to motivate a person and keep that person on in their best game, seeing them when they get down and being like, baby girl, come on, shake that off. We got to keep
Mhm.
going. Let's go. And that person realizing like they're not trying to get on me. They're not getting down. This is for the growth and they know I could get better. Let me shake that off. Let me do what I got to do. Get my head in the game. And so
Because
it was,
naturally on the team, we're all competitors.
yes. And
Right.
with,
But if you
yes,
on a team, do you know you building to make that person that you're on a team with better?
yes. And so that's when we go
It's
from
not a it's
being that
so
calling
that's
that
not
ace
is
of
that
spade a spade.
competition though?
No, this is when I say when, and then once you got that team together, then that team, knowing that they could trust each other, knowing that they could have each other to have their back, grow this and that, they then could go out and conquer more of those things. Like Corey was saying, when you do solo, you could go
Right.
motivate and you could go on and spread and you could get, like you said, conquer, divide, multiply, add, subtract, and you could do it
Right.
more powerful, more energetically because you have more like-minded people together.
You
And
have
so,
and
like-minded, but you all bring your individual
Right.
yes,
talent
Your own
yes,
to
correct.
the table.
yes. Like
perspective.
you have the point guard, you got the forward, you got everybody's got their different positions.
Or
Right.
you have Cammy
With
and
it,
you have Nafisa and you have Chanel and you have Corey.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody has a different perspective, but we all on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Exactly. So,
Mm-hmm.
like going back to the whole African conversation. So, if they were a little more elevated and not in a lower state in a survival mode, dog eat dog, if they were in a higher state, they could branch out and be like, dang, instead of me selling tomatoes, like, let me go and get some of these bananas over here and sell this shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can step into your own thoughts
Yes.
and
Yes.
processes and do figure out what works for you
Yes.
instead of looking at somebody else like, damn, they selling tomatoes. Let me go sell tomatoes because I'm gonna be the best tomato seller out
Right.
here, even though a
Mm-hmm.
million people selling
Because
tomatoes.
I'm gonna
Because
make my stand have this sparkle on it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm gonna turn
When
my
in
tomatoes
reality,
this
you really
way.
could take all of the all the stands and put them shits together.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
can
Mm-hmm.
we just build a team instead of everybody? That's the crabs in a barrel mindset though.
Uh-huh.
it is. But I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and this was Asian guy. And did I tell y'all about that? And he was saying that a lot of Indians have moved here to America. And I'm not throwing any shade on anybody's race, but he was just saying that it was a Easter egg competition. It was an Easter egg hunt, and he took his kids, and he said all these Indians came out and bought their kids. But he said the women were out there like knocking the kids over, getting eggs. And he was saying to him, it was they a lot of them come from third world countries where everybody is out here trying to hustle. So in their mind, everything is I gotta get it before somebody else gets it, and
Yeah.
at whatever cost. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. When you're in a when you're in a lower state and you're in a fight or flight, always trying to get
And
something
you
done with
survival mode.
you're in survival mode. That's what he called it. You're in survival mode. So everything is naturally going to be competition to you. So you're fighting for resources. When you're fighting for resources, you're going to do what you got to do to survive.
Hence that.
And but
Hence
because
that.
you I
That.
mean,
That.
but you can't be mad at that though. That's like when I listen to who was it? I used to listen to all the time, Love Dorsey. We're talking
Mm-hmm.
about trying to be people trying to be in relationships with somebody in survival mode, or you trying to be friends with somebody in survival mode when you can't because that person is not in a place to give what's needed to be give because they don't have it.
Because they're surviving still.
I'm no because I'm trying to not if I'm not trying to drown, I can't help you swim.
But the thing is, these ladies are not surviving anymore. His whole thing, he was like, we out in the suburbs of Atlanta. Like,
Right.
chill out, lady.
But you
You
know
done
that's
made it. Like,
the genetic disposition or
yes, he said
because what
that's their
you're used to is survival mode. Like even though you might not be in survival no mode, and you might not be in survival mode. Like if you look at it, but mentally you might not have outgrown it though.
Yeah, that's the
so, but
trauma. Yeah,
that's the trauma, but also you have to do the work as well as the
true,
individual.
for sure, and want to
I
do it.
agree
Yeah,
with that for real.
And in survival mode, you have to
But
like
when
the
do
way
you
that you're
how do you know
thinking,
you're not in survival mode no more? Like if you don't take the time and be like, damn, I'm really not struggling no more. Let me try to reach back and help somebody else. How do you if you steady trying to keep up with the Joneses, how do you know that?
then you're not there yet. You
Hmm.
won't because you wouldn't
You
be
know,
even ready to
Right.
ask that.
That's my point I'm making is if you don't realize it, then how do you like if you like you might be well off. Like I'm good, like I'm financially good, I'm this and I'm that, but I'm steady in competition with somebody else. So how do I know that I'm not in survival mode no more? If nobody don't tell me, like, hey, you are not struggling. It's okay to show somebody else what to do. But because we are conditioned to compete with each other, and what like how do we stop that competition is what I'm saying. The
and
unhealthy
and
unhealthy
that,
competition.
that goes to a person being able to self-analyze themselves or
hmm
Exactly.
whatnot. You feel
Right.
me?
Exactly.
And like you said, them that person being socially and consciously aware of those things
self
or whatnot.
awareness.
You
Exactly.
feel me?
Yeah.
So that
And
means you
then
have to be able to open your heart space.
Mm-hmm.
for, for
And
sure.
everybody, like, see how you said you're now doing your heart space? You're on that
Mhm.
level. Some people are on another level. Some
Another
people
level.
are another one, another one. Like you
Hmm.
said, we're all on the same team with different visions and viewpoints. So we
Right.
all are standing looking at things differently. So we're going through things differently. So the people, when they get to where they need to get to, they'll get there. And so therefore that's why we don't really have to too much share, like push too much
Right.
or say what they can do or this, because we have no clue what stage they're in when they're this, unless we
And
could
that's
get a
why I think
clue.
it's important to have compassion
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like the same way you would want somebody to be understanding of where you are in life and what you have going on. You should give that as well. Like, this is where I am. I'm struggling with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though everybody's not open to speak that,
And
if you
therefore
read the
some
room,
people
you can
get
see
to.
that shit though. Like, okay, well, I
Yep.
see this person is they struggling with, like, if you're open, you can see, like, you can see that shit. I can see that shit. I don't know, maybe
Yep.
can
You
I can
can. You
see
can.
when somebody is struggling with some shit, and I can be like,
Yes.
okay, well, I'm gonna have a little grace and
Yeah.
understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Because
when you're seeing those things and you're relaxing in yourself, they get
Hmm.
to relax in themselves
And
because you can calm that
Hmm.
space
and
down.
growth happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you just realize that, okay, I don't have to do too much unless they ask these days.
Right.
Unless they ask. Because we don't have to we could actually do it for ourselves. We could tithe to ourselves, give to ourselves, and then receive it. Let it get rooted in us. Let us start to really practice all this for us and see, because when we know we do it for us, we're so selfless. We're gonna, when the time comes to give and share, it's gonna be abundant. And so now these are the days where everyone, we get to see who people are, call those spades spades. We get to do our do what we've intended to do. We could relax, like you said, because some people don't know. Nobody has told them they could sit back and relax. So since they haven't heard the word, the big bird said y'all can relax now. So they can
Hmm.
relax, you know, y'all can chill and start seeing
And
yourself.
they'll pick up on your vibe and energy too.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
So let
And
me
then
ask
now
you this.
embrace everything.
How do you take that, what you just said, and apply it to children?
By you seeing your children and all they're going through and the ones around them, being with their friends, being in the spaces with them, seeing that they really listen to you, see that they really are miniature yous and whoever and whatever you were during the time that you were conceiving them. They are in the spaces of being of hierarchies on their pod level, on their generation level. And so when you automatically, as the parent of those youth, and those are just renting those seeds for a minute, you are seeing their attributes. And so, with you seeing the attributes, not judging the attributes, because you're not in the shoes that actually have to walk to get the things done that you have put in them to apply, and that they've already been birthed here to apply. You trust. You trust that you and everything that is going on within their realm, that they are there because you already asked for the protection, for the guidance, for the implementation. And so now you have to allow your hands to be let go and it's applied, because
Mm.
you asked and there it's done. So now you observe, because this new space, now you get to see how it's done by
I think
looking.
a lot of I think a lot of people forget what it feels like to be 17, 15, 14. That's like, for me, when I work with children, I always have to remind myself, okay, Cammy, what was your process when you was 15?
Or you just
Mhm.
still have to allow people to be who they are. You
Right.
know what I'm
But
saying?
you
And
but
give them
I
that
think,
space
like,
because
sometimes
in
when we
many.
work when you working with kids though, you literally have to remember, okay, how what was my process when I was 15?
Right, but you still have to give them the grace to be who they are.
I'm
I
not
think
saying
sometimes as
don't don't
adults,
don't allow them to be who they are. But if you can't remember where you like how smart was I when I was 17, when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? Like you still gonna be who you are individually. But if I'm trying to say, okay, well, who am I now at 40 versus who I was at 17? Let me go back and apply that 17-year-old
but even
process.
yeah, and that's true. That and I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying I think many times as adults don't give children to be the space who they are because we want to mold them to who we think they should be.
No,
I
that's what I
agree.
mean when I'm saying remember who I was when I was 17.
Right,
Not
and that's what I
necessarily
mean when I'm
say
saying give them the
who.
space to be who they're going to be.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Because you can only be who you are at 17. Like I can't take the knowledge that I have acquired from 18 to 39 and put it at 17-year-old Kimmy. So let me go back and remember who I was when I was 17.
Well, that's how you do it. I do it in the sense of, I mean, it's the same. It's essentially we're saying the
It's the
same
same
thing.
shit.
I allow people, I allow kids to be
You're
who they're
still
going to be.
allowing them to be who they are. You just when you are in I'm saying as far as interacting on a day-to-day basis with people that are not my children.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm dealing with people
and
that
in and
somebody else's kids,
and
and
in the
all I can
setting,
do is
you
remember who
understand?
I was when I was 17 and how much my level of maturity and my level of this. Let me just go back and remember because if you try to apply your mindset, even if you was 21 versus 17, it's not gonna be the same. So if I could just say, okay, well, this is I remember being 17 and this was my mindset, then I can relate to you or somebody else that's 17 and this is their mindset. I can relate to this shit.
Right,
So
Versus me
you're
trying
coming from mindset. I'm coming from allowing them to be who they are. It's
I'm
same
not
difference.
saying
Okay.
Just a
I mean
Can
difference.
I add
mindset and being
something?
who you are is the same thing.
Uh, and I'm thinking like with how Nafisa is saying it, because when if you could see them how you said when you're in a room, Cammy, you could sit there and you could see kind of what they're going through, this and that. And
Yeah.
Nafisa is saying when you're seeing who they are, these days that 17-year-old might be a 68-year-old. So you could
But
see
that's what I'm
differently.
saying. I'm not
Yeah.
saying to me, and my understanding is I'm saying like, okay, I understand that at 17, I'm not gonna have the same thought process as I would at 39 with 3 kids. But that
right,
doesn't mean I'm not gonna allow you to be who you are. Like, of
right,
course, you're gonna be your own individual self. Like, I get that. I'm gonna try my best to get to know you as somebody who's gonna interact with children on a daily basis. Like, I want to get to know who you are as an individual, but I'm not going to forget what it means to be 17 and the feelings and the emotions that you have when you're 17. Like 17 being in love is not the same as 39 being in love.
right. And then,
That's
like I
what
was
I mean
adding
by
though,
that, as far as understanding who somebody is.
The
right,
depth
but
of the level
but
they've gone on this journey.
right,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
then like I was adding too though, Cammy, and kind of in your speaking where you were speaking, I got where you was coming from only just because I know you're speaking about the kids in the setting that where you work at, so to speak, or whatever. Like you
Yeah.
said, kids that are not yours or whatever.
Yeah.
And being that I worked in this at that same place, I know exactly what you mean or whatever. Like, of course now using what Fisa was saying or whatever, letting a kid be a kid and kind of, you know what I'm saying, filling them out and letting them kind of find a place. That's that's more like a kid in our home, our child. Like
Yeah.
Hmm.
those
I'm gonna let
kids are
my
kids.
child be who they are. Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell them who
yeah.
you should
These
be. I'm gonna
these
support what
kids
you think.
are somewhat unfortunately what they would say will be wayward youth, so to speak, or whatever. You feel me?
Yeah.
So therefore, like she putting herself in the mindset, like, all right, like man, where was I at this time or whatever with comprehension? You feel
Hmm.
me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because
Mm-hmm.
And I
cause
get
those,
that, but I was
cause,
coming. I was coming from the aspect of many times adults want to control children. So we don't think about how their age, how old they are. We don't consider them personally
No,
because
if a person,
a
if
lot of us have issues because our parents grew us up a certain way and wanted us to look a certain way or be a certain way.
yeah.
So that's where I was coming from with it. Regardless of
Yeah,
the
for
I
sure.
age, I get
understood.
that
I
part.
understood what you were saying. What I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
saying,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not going because that's how I grew up. I'm going to take the time to understand who that child is as an individual, on top of me remembering how it feel, like how puppy love feel, and how all of this type of shit, like interactions and learning to trust and all that shit, is different at 17 versus 25 versus 30 versus 39. Like all of that shit is different because you go through different things in life.
Yeah.
So I get, like, I understood what you were saying. Like I like no, I get what you're saying. But I'm just saying, like, as far as if I took all of that shit and added it together in my mind
Mhm.
as in a way to remember what it, like, genuinely what it
Yeah.
feels like to be 17 and adding all of those aspects together.
Yeah. That's like your good tip for you to help you to
Yes,
go on and
because
get
I
yourself
see that
going.
shit on
Yeah.
whether I work where I work now, or if I
Mhm.
work just in a general school setting, or if I worked in an alternative school setting, or for a facility. Like it's levels to
Hmm.
being 17 versus trying to understand what's happening.
For sure. And
Yeah.
then for me, like myself or whatever, being a kid that was once in a facility or got sent off, or you know what I'm saying, that went through the whole juvenile, you know what I'm saying, detention centers and all of that stuff or whatever, like talking to them or whatever, you're mostly like real life trying to give them some hindsight of like, hey, if you don't do A or B, most definitely this is
This
gonna
is
be your
gonna happen.
alternative type shit. You feel
Yes.
me? So therefore, like you how you speaking to them most definitely ain't the way that you would necessarily speak to your
Speak to
child,
your
so to
children,
speak.
your regular
But I'm
children who
gonna
ain't
say
been in
this.
and out of
Yeah, you
stuff.
feel me? Like
I'm gonna
like
say
like
this
you
though.
giving
For
you
me,
giving them kids in in their facility like real shit. You have to be give them brutally honest. And most of the time, when I was 1,000 or being trill or however you want to phrase it to them kids, man, they respected that
Well,
shit.
that
They
all goes
loved
back
that
to
shit.
I will
Yeah,
authenticity
say this though. For
and
me,
transparency.
when
Yeah.
yeah, there you
I
go. For
deal
sure,
with,
for sure.
like, with my own children versus the children that that I teach or I work with or whatever,
Uh huh.
I try my best to treat those children the same way that I would treat my own. So the same way that
For
I talk
sure.
to my kids, I'ma talk to them. It ain't no difference. What's the difference? Only difference is I can't take those kids that I'm working with at work
Home and
home
shit.
with me.
Yeah.
That's the only
Well, that's
difference.
being, and that's once again, it's being authentic and transparent. Like that's,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it,
I
it
get,
all boils down
so
to
that's what I was trying to say, as far as, like, to me, it ain't no difference. Like, a kid is a
right.
kid.
But a lot
Don't
is
matter
to you. It's
who
not
kid
because you
is.
understand that a lot of adults don't, because a lot of adults think that children should be in children's place, and
No,
they not
I'm
trying
going
to
to tell
see
you the
past.
motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
They just
It
is
hurts
their
your feelings a
condition.
lot. I'm gonna say what
They're
I'm gonna say.
conditioned to have children to
Right. There
be
you
who
go.
they want them to
No,
be
and
and mold them.
I get what you saying. They think that it's okay to control. Like, no,
Because you're a
because at the
child.
end of the day, when I turn 18 and I'm grown, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do and what make me happy.
Right.
But for me, I understand it. Excuse me, that was gross. I'm sorry. But excuse me, like, I understand that. But because I've been that child, like, I don't like for people to tell me what to do. I cannot stand that shit. But I will listen when I know it's beneficial.
Hmm.
So I can relate to a lot of kids, because, not saying that I'm childlike, but I know how to tap into my childlike energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. You can remember when.
I can remember what it feels like to be this age, or to be like, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't forgotten. So I can
Mhm.
tell, like a motherfucker might say, Cammy, you childish, but really, no, I'm not. I'm good at what the fuck I do.
There you go.
Right.
And if you act like most kids that I run into, like my kids' little friends and shit like that, they love me because I can tap into that shit and I can relate to them. But I can also spit game and tell them, okay, well, this is where you fucking up at, or this is what you like. Look at it this from this
For
aspect.
sure.
Look at it from that
Mm.
aspect, and I'm gonna tell you the truth because what
Mhm.
I'm a lie for? Like I don't have no reason to
Right.
not tell you the truth. And on top of that, I, as a person, I just want to keep children safe.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So that's where I be looking at this shit like people and I like you were saying people want to mold children into what they think they should be. No, I want to mold children into what it is that they desire, that they want to be. Like what do you want to do with yourself? If you like I had a little boy when I worked at the alternative school, he got sent over there for selling drugs, and I swear to God, I probably ain't supposed to say that, but it don't even matter. So if you're gonna be a drug dealer, you need to know how to do conversions
Mhm. Mhm.
because why you
Mhm.
getting shorted? Because
Right.
you can't count.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They'll just be some of the smartest
Mhm.
people, boy. They be knowing the third,
So
three fourths, five
man,
eighths. They be
if
like,
you
I
Quarter.
don't even know
doing
what
this,
that is.
then
Half.
then I'm gonna help you run.
Okay,
Like I'm gonna show you, like, okay, this is how you need to know how to do this shit.
I
So
learned this. This is what I learned from a drug dealer. The biggest number, when the number is the biggest, at the bottom is smaller. It's a smaller
exactly.
fraction.
But all I'm saying is,
Yes,
if you're
sir.
going to be this person, then you need to know how to do XYZ. You need to know that you need to have XYZ in your pocket. You need to know that you need to be able to communicate with this person. So, whatever you want to be in life, all my job is to show you how to be the best you can be at that shit.
Okay,
That's
so let me ask you: Do children, what competition and competing do children do then? What do
I'm gonna
you?
say this. A lot of kids, like I've witnessed if a child is if somebody is better, like say for instance, if it was me and you in the class, I was better at spelling than you. So they don't know how to say, you did a good job spelling motherfucking whatever the word was. I know I can't spell, so but I don't know how to cheer you on and say congratulations that you know how to spell, even though I am the number one adder and subtractor. I don't know how to
Mm.
give
So
I don't
Wow.
know how to give you your flowers and
so
spell.
they're not good with healthy camaraderie. So that's what I feel
No,
like sometimes is missing with younger people. And I'm just
they
not. I know
don't
I'm
know
not
like
getting on the
what
younger people tangent. That,
sportsmanship, whether it's in actual sports or whatever it is in, it's not there. And I think the problem is that everybody is a winner. Everybody not no goddamn winner. I hate to say that shit. Like if you came in second place, my nigga, you lost.
Mhm.
Simple.
Well,
Yeah.
Do
almost doesn't
better.
count, man. That's what
Yeah.
Brandon said,
For
man.
Yeah.
real. Like you if you came in second place, you lost.
so there's no healthy camaraderie.
No. And then
Nah,
Cause
man.
everybody
still
get a
be able
trophy.
to say,
Too
yes,
many participation awards, man.
man,
Yes, it is. It
burn
is.
them motherfucker. Please burn the
Yes.
participation trophy.
Because that makes them not want to try,
That's
not
entire.
want to
Exactly.
Right,
go harder.
So
That's
now
where y'all say the instant gratification thing.
right,
this
right.
is a microwave society. That's
Yep.
like I've had kids say, Miss Hill, what are you gonna give me because I did this? But the this is I turned in my
Keep
work.
going.
I'm not
Do it
finna give you
again.
shit. I'm gonna give you a grade
Hey, keep it up.
based on what you did. And if you half-ass did your work, I'm gonna give you a 50 and you're gonna flunk. Because the same way I can't go to JEA with $300 if my bill is $375 and keep my lights on. That is
Right,
delusional shit.
right.
Mhm.
I'm not
Again,
gonna teach you that. If
you
you don't
being real,
what you
you being
supposed
realistic with them.
Yep.
Yeah,
you get an F. You get an F. And your lights is turned off and now y'all in the dark. And as JEA, I don't give a fuck.
right. And then, like to add on to what you had asked, Fisa, when you was like, "What do kids in that particular setting? What do they be seeking or whatever?" And again, I can most definitely speak on it because I worked there and I was a part of it growing up or whatever. Man, without them admitting it or whatever, they seeking or in competition for for appreciation for somebody's
Attention.
attention. You know what I'm
Validation.
saying? You feel me? Yes. All of that wrapped up in above. Some do it negatively. I'm gonna beat on this motherfucking desk or whatever until somebody notice me. Look at me. Look at
Because
me.
they
You know what
haven't
I'm
gotten the
saying?
proper validation from parents in the
Correct.
beginning.
Correct. So therefore, like with me or whatever, me what I do or whatever, my way of connecting and being able to build a rapport or try to get them to have some sort of overstanding or something is me being realistic with them and telling them, hey, this was most definitely gonna happen to you, bro, if you
So
don't get this shit together, type
so
shit
let
or
me
whatever.
ask y'all this. Do y'all think that when children get proper validation and encouragement early from their parents, does that keep them from being as competitive,
I
or
don't
does
think
it
it
does
keeps you
it
from being as competitive.
Add competitive because
Competitiveness is in your
it's
nature.
healthy.
It's
Yeah,
like
healthy?
some
and
people
it can be
are just
deemed as
more
healthy. Yeah,
competitive than others. But I think if you receive the validation or the you're doing a good job from your parents, you're more confident. I don't think
Right.
it's I think
correct.
it
For
gives you
sure.
a level
For
of
sure.
confidence versus let me go out and seek somebody else telling me, oh, as I'm doing a good job, which is people pleasing. So
Right.
confidence and people pleasing is two different things. I would much rather my child be confident work versus seeking
So let
to
me
people
ask you
please.
this. So when you're confident, you can stay in your own lane and you really ain't worried about nobody else trying to compete because you in your own
Exactly
lane.
because
Right.
because when you're confident, your only competition is yourself. Because I just want to do better than I did the last time.
For sure.
So
And that's
therefore,
what we all are at now. You feel me?
yeah. And so if the parents teach in the household the healthy
Aspects of it.
emotions and helping them have their emotions together with all of the things that they're going to compete in, then I think that they could learn a lot more and it could be a healthier aspect in the competition as they're out there in the field.
For
Exactly.
sure.
So
I
let me
agree.
ask y'all this: how do y'all view competition in when you're dealing with family?
Mm.
Do
I
you
I
think
really
there
didn't.
is a level of healthy competition when you're as far as siblings or just cousins or whatever in any aspect?
So I believe that each child gets treated differently, depending on when they were born, where the parents were when they were born, and people like to say, "Oh, I treat my children equally."
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
equal.
Because you might have one child that's 15. Say if you got a child that's 15, you got a child that's 5. Ain't no way you treating the same because you're not the same.
And
Mhm.
at the same time, you were at different ages when you had. So I may
That's
have
what I'm
had this
saying. But
child,
you're
I
not
was
the same.
stressed with a raggedy baby dad. I may have had this child, I was peaceful. So they're going to be different. So
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
sometimes when parents aren't consistent with individually nurturing that child, how that child needs to be nurtured, I think it creates a competition amongst each other.
Amongst the children.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And I think
But I'm
sometimes,
saying, like, for me, like, okay, yeah, that make that I get what you're
yeah,
saying. It does
because but you
create,
have to
but
reinforce
like,
as a parent.
but as a parent, it's your job to be like, okay, well, you're like this. That's like, okay, if I take my children and I apply this concept to my children, like Jamarie is very who Jamarie is because when I had Jamarie, I was 18.
Correct.
I was at a different space than when I had, even though I had Jamila, I was 22, but I still wasn't in the same space. And I also wasn't in the same space when I was 24 when I had Kyla. So I am calmer with Jakila than I was with Jamari. Like Jamari might have got I ain't know might have. Maria got a completely different mom than Jakila did because I was at a different place. I'm not the same person at 18 than I was at 24 versus 39 dealing with Jakila at 14 versus however I was with Mario was 14. Like that's two different that's four different completely different people.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Like you said, with your relationships, how you grow and they've been evolving.
yes, but like I don't think I treat them. I don't love them any different. Like my level of love and how I'm going to go hard for them is no different. It's just my place of stability, whether it's financially, emotionally, or whatever. Like I might have been more emotionally stable now than I was then, or more financially stable than I was now. But I might have motivated Mario a little bit different than I do Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on who that person is as a parent or at
But what but what
where you
creates
are in life.
but what creates the schism and the competition is when I think adults grow up and don't feel like they got enough validation from their
You
parents.
living that's living through your children
Hmm?
Yeah. And
to a certain
and
extent.
so it happens.
Yeah.
And yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. I've seen a lot of competition.
I've seen people compete with other like as a parent, you're competing with the children because you're living through your kids vicariously. Like
Or you see something, I mentioned they had a conversation. Sometimes you see something in your kids that you have or that you don't have that you may want to have. So you compete with your children.
Mm-hmm.
oh, I wasn't even
Mm-hmm.
speaking about that, but that makes sense.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
People do
Mm-hmm.
be in competition with their children, and you can see that with a lot of times. I see that more with moms and daughters than you do with any other combination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
well, with moms and daughters, because that woman. But I was listening to a lady, and she brought a valid point. She was like, each generation should be better. Shira Seven, I know people be hating her. Her name is Shira Seven. She come off as a pick me
Yeah,
woman, but she
is
said
that
she
the one
made a
you put
valid
in our
point. She
group?
said
Is that the one you put in our group the other day?
yes, she said that each generation of child women should be better than the last generation. It's just like
Erica
cars. Each
Badu
model
talked
is
about that
better.
too.
Huh?
Erica Badu talked about that too.
Yes, you want your daughters and your children to be better than you, but a lot of times people are insecure and they don't have that security. They didn't get that validation that they needed, so they can't pass on what they don't have to their daughters. So it's a
I just can't
competition.
process the whole idea of not wanting your daughter to be better than you.
I can't either.
I
I
want
expect
my
mine to
daughter
be better
to
than me.
please don't make the same mistakes that I made. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to show you what not to do or what to do so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. Please don't make the same mistakes that I made.
Man, that
Come
part.
on
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. I'm gonna show you how to cook grass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what not to do. Don't do like even if you have to do the shit for yourself, don't please do better than I did. What? I don't understand it. Why would you not want your kid better than you?
Because,
Mm-hmm.
like I
Sure.
said, people at the real generational wealth is breaking generational cycles to me, and
Right.
making sure that your next generation, your children are better, not just financially, but they're better than you mentally,
In
spiritually. They're
all
Spiritually.
sound.
aspects.
Yes, but we think that it's financial, and financial is good too. But you really just want your children to do better and be better than you.
Yes,
That's
just
the
be
up cycle. That's the flip.
healthier. I want my kids to be better. Like at 21, I had whatever I had going on. I want my kids to be better or healthier than I was at 21.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't like learn from
Mm-hmm.
what that's why I'm open with my children and I talk so open with them and I tell them about things that's happening because I want you to make better decisions than I did.
Yeah, and I feel like that's sometimes what I miss growing up. I didn't get the hard nosed conversations. Hey, this what happened to me when I was such and such.
So don't you do that.
So try not to do it. I just got the don't mess with boys because I
Yeah.
was a
And
boy
I got
once,
this
and
same
they all
conversation.
want one. They all want one thing. Well, what is that one thing, sir?
Right. If you don't tell me, then I don't motherfucking know.
What they want to do? Go out and eat ice
I had a conversation with my kid. Like me and my daughter, we had an in detailed conversation about menopause the other day. And I was showing her this video, and I was like, "This is what happens when you know what I'm saying, you go through this, and then but what leads up to this, and this is how you can prevent it from being as bad. If you take these herbs, if you do this, then this can help." So like it was a very in detail conversation that I didn't receive those because like I might get those conversations now because I might go
cream.
just it growing up, I didn't get those conversations, and it's nothing against my parents. Like that's just not who they like. They didn't come up in that generation where conversations like that was had.
Right. Mine neither.
So like
Not as
I
yet.
see a lot of people say, "Oh well." A lot of people in our generation are our kids' friends. Like I'm my kids' friends on certain social media aspects because I want to know what they doing. But in reality, like I ain't your friend, nigga. You'll get a whooping. I'm gonna explain to you why I did what I did or I said what I said, and you still finna get up at 7 o'clock, come help me pick these sticks up at the yard or whatever we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we're more authentic and open because that's the era we live in. Our parents were
Yeah,
not open
because
because they were.
it's not a lot of shit that you can hide now
It
with.
was more guilt and shame back then surrounding some of the things they did, and we are
Yeah,
not living. We're not living in guilt or shame. We're living in what people?
but because it was guilt and shame because somebody put that on you, like some shit could have happened to you that wasn't your fault, but you're taught that, oh well, you should feel guilty about this because it happened to you even though it wasn't your fault.
We're living in authenticity and transparency.
Yeah,
Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
tell my kids all the time, shit, I ain't get
No guilt. No guilt or
Mm-hmm.
shame. Authenticity and transparency.
So okay, I got one more. So with what about friends or work competition? How do y'all feel about that?
Fuck them niggas, man. We at work. This a job. Ho.
I work by myself.
I
Oh my goodness.
100% agree. I
That
already got
part.
some friends. I did not come to this motherfucker to make friends.
It is
Hey,
called
my
work life balance, my nigga. Nobody wants to work, but you know I gotta pay bills, so I gotta come to this bitch. We are not friends. This and black people learn that we better off. We are
because
not
I think the
friends with
most
nobody
toxic
we work
thing
with.
that you can see, like I feel like when you start a job, and if they say, "Oh, we're like a family," that shit finna be toxic as fuck.
Man, the complete opposite.
Somebody finna get the fighting for the year over with. But what about friends though? What about friend competition? Should you be in competition with your friend?
No,
Uh-uh.
if it's
No.
But
healthy camaraderie.
I've seen
Right.
it.
I feel like I'm going to push my friends. That's like I'm going to push. Like if
Mhm.
Nafisa called me and we have a conversation about something, I'm going to push her to be the best at whatever it is that she's trying to do. I'm not going to compete with her
Mhm.
because that's my friend and I want her to be the best that she can
Right.
be. But I'm not
Yep.
going to be like, oh, well, I guess that's okay when I know that you're settling. Like you might get mad at me for some shit I
Mhm.
say, but I'm going to say, I think whatever I think because I want the best for you.
That's like that teammate stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you want the
Don't ask
team
me
to
if
win.
you
Like
want
that's my
somebody to
bestie.
sugarcoat that
Yes.
shit because your feelings gonna be hurt.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I say. It's called camaraderie, healthy camaraderie. People,
Mm-hmm.
it's no more camaraderie anymore. It's all.
It's not everything. Like I'm not. I have never in my life been jealous of my friend.
Mm-mm.
Like, it doesn't matter
Me
who it is.
neither.
Like I could be
That
in
part.
the
Me
saddest place
neither.
in life, and if you are experiencing something that's happy, I'm gonna be happy for you.
Happy
And even
with
when
you.
I go
Yes.
home, I'm
Yep.
gonna
Yes.
cry because I'm sad for whatever the fuck I'm going through. But I'm still gonna be happy for you. Like say if you
I'm
when
gonna
you
be
get
in your
married.
corner. I'm your
Right.
cheerleader.
Say if Nafisa got married and then, but I'm going through a breakup, I'm still gonna be her
The
best,
same. We ain't get
her,
married.
her
Mm-hmm.
bridesmaid or whatever I need to be, and celebrate her. And then on the way home, I'm
I'm already married in my mind. We married in our minds. We have no
well.
wedding ring.
I'm saying if y'all had a wedding, then I'm still
Yeah.
gonna be happy for you. But if I'm sad because whatever's happened in my life, in my romantic
I ain't
life,
gonna fuck up your deal.
I'm not gonna fuck up what you got going on because I'm going through whatever. I'm gonna be happy for you
Mm-hmm.
Cause I ain't a
Mm-hmm.
hater.
because
I
I'm
Mm-hmm.
ain't
not
a hater. I just
I'm
crush
not
a
in
lot.
competition with you. It's not a competition. Like
Yes,
we're
it's a
friends,
team.
so I want you. I want what's best. Whatever you feel is best for you, I want you to get that. But like, that doesn't like your happiness doesn't affect mine.
I agree. I
Yeah,
say. Well, that was a good one, peeps. Peeps, peeps. Y'all know it's getting close to my bedtime. It's 10:30
yeah.
around
Oh,
this
and we've been out
bitch.
here
Yeah.
for 124. This is a long one.
Right. Can I okay, so can I give one more thing, guys? This is just before you close out. Okay, so this is a Taurus new moon. And the lady that I listened to, Dr. Byarvi, the Sky Priestess, this was her
Oh, I love her. The Indian lady.
yes, yes, Dr. B. So this is what she said for the Taurus new moon. The choice to see grace, abundance, and harmony. Set the right kinds of seeds for the life that you want to lead. This week, I encourage everyone to cut out the distractions and
Mhm.
go with what is authentic and true. Sit with whatever brings you true beauty, worth, comfort, and joy. Value the people, beings, experiences, tools, and whatever helps you to find that vibration. Go within and connect to the deep space of joy.
Mhm.
That
So,
man. Because you can't pay it. Like only thing you can control is yourself.
New moon in Taurus today, people. That's the word, turd.
Chanel, make sure you like the show so we to get
Okay.
more whatever.
Let me see. Hold
But
on. Let me look at it.
I'm gonna read the prayer and then I'm gonna cut it off. But we appreciate you coming on
Thanks, Chanel.
This was
and
a
We
pleasure,
appreciate
adding
your
you all.
wisdom,
your
yes, yes,
imparting
yes,
mindset.
your
yes, it was
wisdom.
a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed you guys. Enjoyed
Yes,
it. I
Likewise,
appreciate you guys
likewise.
for having me.
Right.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
like listening to you guys.
Right.
It's pretty
yeah,
cool being on the show.
Well, good.
okay. So
Thanks, y'all.
when I get ready to share that shit, I'm gonna tag you in it. So
Okay, okay.
all right, so I am root of your root, soil of your soil, bone of your bone, and blood of your blood. From the families of the Shanklins, Jones, Fullers, Merriweathers, Currens, Johnsons, Dotsons, Morgans, Davis, McNeil, Hill, and Crutchfield, we thank you for your guidance, protection, wisdom, and clarity. We understand, overstand, and understand the strength and power that's being provided to us. We accept the responsibility that's being provided to us. We accept, wait a minute. We accept the
It's all good.
responsibility of the gifts passed down to us. We walk in your strength and power today and every day, Ashe.
I
I
say
say.
you read like them kids at school, man. Come on, English teacher.
Listen, let me tell you, it's almost the end of the school year. Brain don't even matter no
You right. Okay, Chanel, when you close out, look at the top right corner and it's like a little power button, a circle in a line.
Uh-huh.
Press that joint and do leave because we have lost whole episodes
Okay.
because we be fucking up when we hang up. So
Okay,
press that
okay.
little joint. It's gonna give you minimize or leave. Click leave. Exit the
Okay.
room.
Okay.
Thank you, Count.
I got you.
Peace, love, and light.
more. All
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 right,
right.
peace
right.
and
Hold
Love
it in
light.
the
y'all.
road.
They say follow and exit, y'all.
Yes, go ahead and do it. I'm gonna hold on
Okay.
to you log out,
Yeah,
then I'm
because
gonna
the leave and minimize is blacked out and it just says follow and exit.
yes, follow and exit. All right.